Hey guys, what's going on? Well, I was on my way to work this morning and I had a service engine soon light pop up on this F-150. There it is there, as a matter of fact. And there's the musty one unfastened seatbelt light. But this one, I was telling him in a comment, this one not only does it light up like that, here in a second it's going to ding 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 because we're not fastened in. Let's see if it does it. In the meantime, there's our mileage, 263, 102.8. And I've been driving this old truck a pretty good bit, and this is the first time I've ever seen the service engine soon light up on it. So belt light just went off. There you go, Musty. How do you like to hear that all the time? That'd teach you. No, probably what you do is you take the belt and plug it in, go around behind the seat with it and plug it in so it wouldn't do that. I know those tricks, but I don't do that because I always wear my seat belt. So there. So anyway, this is the first time I've ever seen the service engine soon light come on, so I'm anticipating. I've got my code scanner out here. See there? I got my code scanner out here, so I'm going to turn it back off and plug this thing in, and then we're going to see what this is. I'm anticipating if it's like any other older high mileage vehicle that I've ever had, it's going to be something with the oxygen sensor or the catalytic converter or the EGR. So probably one of those three, because it still runs fine. I didn't notice any, what do they say, degradation in the performance. So nothing acted weird or anything like that. So I'm going to hope that it's nothing major. Put your seatbelt on, Musty One. Put your seatbelt on. And this one is not one of these. This is not like a Volvo or a Volkswagen or something that has one of these, not only does it have a service engine soon light, but it may have like a service powertrain or service this, or a lot of those cars have like a warning symbol or a big triangle or something, and this thing goes meh, 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 and it'll say stop engine. Okay, you taught me into it. It'll say stop engine now or something like that or whatever. And basically what that means is when you have something like that, that means that those manufacturers know already from the time that car is brand new that it has the capability to have something disastrous go wrong with it, because it's a European vehicle and that's just what they do. So that's like Volvo and their ETM light. Now you tell me something. Why in the hell would Volvo go to the trouble of actually putting a light on the dashboard, a warning lamp on the dashboard that says ETM, if they didn't think that thing was going to fail at some point? I mean, go figure. What's the rationale behind that? Why don't you put a light, if you're going to do that, why don't you put a light for EGR or not EGR, well, yeah, EGR, that they have to be serviced all the time on those cars, or water pump light, or how about a burn valve light, or hell, you could have like this whole, all the stuff goes wrong with those cars. You could have a space filled up with like the size of this radio with nothing but different warning lights of things that are going to break on a Volvo. And so like the ETM, when they get ready to break, the light comes on, so uh-oh, I'm fixing to lose a water pump, or fixing to have an axle go bad or control arm go bad. You get it. All right, guys, well, I'm going to shut this thing off and we'll scan this thing for codes. Okay, plugged in, key on. 101, PO 125. Okay, PO 125, and that up there says that's the only, it says 101 of 01, that means that's the only code that's in there. It says MIL on, malfunction indicator lamp on. So Some of you are already familiar with these codes, you know what that is. I personally do not, so I'm going to go ahead and erase it. Am I sure? Yes. I push this one. Come on. Let's do that again. I might have done it wrong. There we go. Good. Okay. I'm going to turn it back off because otherwise it tries to read it again. Unplug it. So let me get my cell phone and we'll see what that code is. Okay, here we go. Now this surprised me. Now I've seen this before, but what this is, OBD2 trouble code P0125, insufficient coolant temperature for closed loop operation. Now what's funny about that is this very second result here is 03 Ford F-150 code P0125, insufficient coolant temperature for closed loop operation. It means coolant temperature too low, engine does not come up to temperature. Now that's very interesting because I say that's surprising, but it's not necessarily surprising because I've noticed that this truck, let me see if I can steady the camera a little bit. I'm real jittery right now. No, not really, but sometimes I am. I noticed that this truck is taking a long time to warm up, and especially when you go downhill, the temperature gauge will drop down to the low side, and normally this temperature gauge runs right about in the middle, maybe a shade under, but normally right dead in the middle at highway speeds. And during the summertime it normally always stayed up there, but now in the winter, when it's getting winter and cool out here, in the mornings, like I said, it takes a long time to come up, and then sometimes it'll run down. So what has happened is evidently the thermostat is either stuck open or it's been taken out. So it's running, the ECM is just basically saying that it's running too cool. It means that it is at times when the ECM interprets that this truck should be fully warmed up and running warm enough. I think the cutoff's probably about 150 something degrees coolant temperature. It's running warm enough to be in closed loop. At that point, it's the coolant temperature is too low. So what's happening is when the coolant temperature drops down below that preset amount, it shifts back into open loop operation. So all that's saying is the computer is letting me know that this engine is not staying up to temperature when it should be. So it's going to have a new thermostat put in it, or one put in it. This engine doesn't look like it's ever been touched, so I doubt that it's a case that it doesn't have one. It's probably just got stuck. And the scary thing about that is that you think, well, it's okay if it's stuck open, but the thing is, if that thing sticks open and it goes like that, then all of a sudden it decides, it pops loose and it decides it's going to stick closed, then you got problems because you're going to overheat the hell out of this thing. So it will have to have a thermostat put in it. So I'll deal with that. May do it this weekend or whatever, but I think I've drove this thing for a week, and I think I'm going to switch out and drive the Buick now for a while and do a few more things to this truck that it needs. It needs that, and it needs the drive shaft needs to be balanced on it. It's got a one-piece drive shaft, and at about 65 miles an hour it's making some vibration. So do a couple things to it, but we'll deal with that. So that's interesting. That's not what I expected. I thought it would have something else lighting that light up, but you saw it. It's right there. Plain English. P0125. Okay guys, so I'm going to click the camera off, and then I'm going to go around there and get the Buick out of storage and get it cleaned off and washed off and stuff like that. And we're going to talk here pretty soon. You know, I've been making some statements that I guess I shouldn't. I kind of jumped the gun, but I talk about I might sell this, I might sell that. You know, you always hear me saying that. So we're going to talk a little bit in the video about what I'm working towards as far as when I talk about selling vehicles, and why. I think some of you are interested in that, and so we'll talk about that. Okay then, see you guys. Hey guys, just a quick update on this truck. I was telling you in the last part of this video that I had a code come up for a temperature under is to run too cold. So then they're just digging into this to do this thermostat replacement. It's right over here at the end of the upper hose. So I went ahead and drained the coolant out. You can hear it dripping down there, and remove this intake plenum. The duct is what it is, I guess. And I'll tie into that now momentarily. I had to remove a little bracket that goes between this power steering reservoir and the thermostat housing. And one thing else I'm going to do in here is this throttle's been sticking closed when it's cold. As a matter of fact, when I work it by hand, I can hear it sticking. It's just making a little, like a noise in there, and you can see it's pretty gunky in there. If I can do this trick with the camera again, let's see. Look in the back, you can see there's all kinds of carbon buildup and stuff, and I'm not worried about that necessarily, but I want to get it cleaned up where the butterfly stays in its closed position, because it sticks pretty good. I mean, you have to, hit it pretty hard to get it going. You're don't like that. So anyway, I'm going to deal with that at the same time to do the thermostat. So I got a pretty day today, so let's get her done. Okay, all done. Took quite a while to get the thermostat to open on this. It just runs so cool. I guess these are just a cool running engine. Took a while to get it up to temperature, so I ended up finally making sure I didn't have any leaks. Don't, and just drove around the block a little bit, and it's all good now. So it feels good. And the coolant's a little bit low. It kicked a little bit out while I was trying to get the air out of it. Should be a little, that's the cold fill mark right there where that arrow is. So once it cools down, I'll add some to it, because that's a pressure cap. I don't want to take that off right now. So I am closing the hood on this deal. See you guys.